A stolen robe, a broken promise, and a love that was never meant to last. This is the story of Elior and Seraphina, where truth came too late and the sky took her back.
Once upon a time, in a peaceful countryside village, lived a kind young man named Elior, together with his elderly mother. Ruth, his father had passed away long ago, so the two of them lived simply, farming the fields to survive. One night, Elior had a dream, saw a woman so beautiful, so graceful, unlike anyone he had ever met. She looked like a goddess, and in that dream, he married her. When Elior woke up, he smiled to himself. The dream felt so real, so full of hope. He couldn't stop thinking about it. Later that day, Ruth noticed him deep in thought. She asked gently, "What's on your mind, my son?" But Elior didn't respond. He was lost in his thoughts. Ruth wondered, was he thinking about love, about marriage? That very afternoon, their neighbor Mr. Carson came by, casually asked, "Is Elior married yet?" When Ruth said no, Mr. Carson smiled and said, "Then maybe he'd like to meet my daughter, Eliora. She's sweet, kind, and ready to build a home." Ruth liked the idea, but she didn't want to decide without asking Elior. She tried a few times, but always hesitated. What if he already loved someone else? And then she simply forgot to mention it. One morning, Elior decided to go hunting. He packed his bow and arrows and headed into the forest. There he managed to catch a deer, enough to feed them for several days. But on his way home, a wild mountain cat appeared. Startled, Elior dropped the deer and ran. The cat took his prize. Elior returned home empty-handed and disappointed. As he neared his village, he noticed something was wrong. People were rushing toward his house. Confused and alarmed, he followed, only to find his mother, Ruth, had collapsed and passed away. The room was full of sorrow. Elior fell to his knees, heartbroken. She had died alone. And worse, without seeing him married or holding a grandchild. That was all she ever wanted. After that day, Elior changed. He spent his time in the forest, hunting not just for food, but to ease the loneliness inside him. One morning, he wandered deeper into the woods and stumbled upon a crystal-clear lake called Lake Whisperglade. As he approached, he heard laughter, soft, cheerful voices echoing through the trees. Peeking through the leaves, he gasped. 7 breathtaking women were bathing in the lake. Their silk robes lay folded neatly on the rocks. From their conversation, Elior realized they weren't from this world. They were sky maidens, heavenly beings. His heart raced.
Ow.
Could one of them be the woman from his dream? Quietly, Elior stepped forward and took one of the silk robes, a red one. He knew that without it, the maiden could not return to the sky. As the sun began to set, the maidens finished their bath and prepared to leave, but one of them, Seraphina, could not find her robe. The others searched desperately, but time was up. One by one, they vanished into the sky, leaving Seraphina behind. When Seraphina returned and discovered what he had done, she was devastated. "You broke your promise," she said. "My magic is gone. I can no longer turn one stalk into a full pot." From that day on, she had to cook the hard way, pounding, grinding, boiling. Slowly, their food supply began to shrink. Then one morning, Seraphina went to the rice bin. She reached for the last few stalks. Her hand touched something soft, the red silk robe. Her heart sank. She realized the truth. Elior had stolen it from the start. Tears welled up in her eyes. That evening, she stood before him and said, "I must return to the sky. I cannot stay with someone who deceived me." But before she left, she said, "If our daughter Eliora ever wants to see me again, she must burn rice stalks by the lake. But you, Elior, must not be there." And with that, Seraphina rose into the sky, leaving behind her husband and child. Moral of the story: no matter how well you hide the truth, it will always find its way to the light. Deception may bring you joy for a moment, but it leaves behind a lifetime of pain.